I noticed a really fascinating stat after the Belgian Grand Prix that just kind of been swept under the rug and no one had really figured it out until recently. And that's the Belgian Grand Prix in 2024. The top 10 finishers, the points finishers in this race were all Grand Prix winners. That's never happened before. I'm sure at some point there probably would have been all Grand Prix winners in the top 6 for points or the top 8 for points back when those were the points positions. But speaking purely from a top 10 perspective, this is the first time this has ever happened. You had Hamilton, who won the race with 105 wins, Piastri with 1 victory in second, Leclerc in third with 6 victories, Max Verstappen was 4th with 61, Lando Norris in 5th with 1, Carlos Sainz was 6th with 3 victories, Sergio Perez was 7th, he's got 6, Fernando Alonso has 32, he was in 8th, and Esteban Ocon has the single victory in 9th, and Daniel Ricciardo in 10th position had 8 victories. And even if George Russell was allowed to keep his place and not be disqualified, this stat still would have stood. And in fact, it would have been the top 11, not only the top 10. So yeah, a really interesting stat, and one that kind of speaks to the strength and depth in the grid in Formula 1 right now. I mean, a lot of those people, pretty much everybody except for Alonso, Verstappen and Hamilton all have under 10 victories. So there is that's kind of a bit like, well, not many of these people you would call serial winners. I still think it speaks to the quality, the strength and depth and quality in Formula 1 drivers that we have right now. And I think it's a fascinating stat. I just wanted to share it with you guys. That's never happened before, and I'm surprised it's never happened before, really. Because for me, I don't know about what you guys think. Let us know in the comments as always. But for me, the peak of driver quality really was probably late 80s, early 90s. You had some ridiculously talented in that grid, and a lot of drivers that you would think that, well, they would have had way more success if it wasn't for X, Y, and Z. And maybe a lot of these guys, the younger people, Piastri, Leclerc, Norris, they'll go on to have a lot more success in the sport in the future, you would think anyway. But yeah, so first time it may well happen again sometime later this year. But yeah, like I said, it would have actually been a top 11 had Russell actually been allowed to keep his place at it. But yeah, I kind of had this question just going around my head really after seeing that, thinking, is this the strongest strength in depth in a Formula 1 field ever? I would say no. I would also say this is probably the best strength in depth that we've had in Formula 1. It's got to be touching 25, 30 years personally, I must be honest. You look back at some of the drivers we used to have in Formula 1, particularly when it was a 24 car field, some of the guys at the back. It's like, how the hell did you make it to Formula 1? I'm not going to name names, but I think you know who I'm talking about when it comes to some of the drivers like that. But yeah, a fascinating stat there. I think it's a positive sign for Formula 1, and probably won't be the last time we see it this year. I reckon it'll happen at least at one race throughout the remainder of this season. But yeah, there we go, guys. Cool stat to bring you in this off season, and yeah, as always, keep it tuned right here to the F1Chronicle.com for much more content on Formula 1. Like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, become a member, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you very soon.